Hi everyone, Jon Mitchell here, Mayor of New Bedford, and this is another installment of the Mayor's Weekly Update. So this week, as many of you have heard, New Bedford had an uptick in positive COVID cases. We had been averaging about 4 or 5 a day, and it sprung up to about 10 a day. And that put us in the so-called red category in the state's rankings of COVID transmission for cities and towns. So I just wanted to offer a couple of words of perspective. So we take all of this seriously as we have in the past, and we're really digging into how that happened. And as you, I think, have heard from me before, the uptick is largely attributable to 2 clusters of cases. The first cluster is at the Savoy nursing home on County Street, where at last count 22 people had been infected. Just about all of them were New Bedford residents. And the patients there are being cared for, they're being isolated within the facility as appropriate, and are provided the medical attention they need. We think that is a situation that is largely self-contained because the patients, for the most part, remain in place there. Of greater concern was the second cluster. This came from a church, a storefront church on Acushnet Avenue in the North End, and there we had a person who returned from out of state, from a place where there had been a considerable amount of disease spread. He came back, didn't quarantine, didn't get tested, and he spread it at a church service about 2 weeks ago now, and that led to, at last count, over 40 cases of new COVID-19 cases. So that was a big concern. There were a number of steps the church could have taken to have prevented the spread as well, in terms of turning over names to the city's contact tracers, in terms of enforcing social discipline and mask wearing. Those things weren't happening in the way they should. The health department imposed a fine on the church as well as the property owner, in the hope that that sort of thing won't happen again. But it goes to show that these things, when these clusters appear, they have the potential for rapid spread. And so we will continue to be on top of these things as time goes on, until we reach a point where there is a vaccine or enhanced therapies that allow for a more complete solution to the whole thing. Right? But until then, we just have to stay on top of things, and everybody has to do their part. And when some folks don't do their part, there is the potential for an outbreak. And so this episode is a way of, is a reminder that the little things do matter. So in a similar vein, I just want to say this. This week we commemorate the anniversary, the 19th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. And of course, that's a day that none of us who were around will ever forget. And it's also a day from which we can draw inspiration from the great work of the first responders in America's military and the years that followed. The point is that when Americans pull together and not pull apart from one another, they can tackle any challenge, and that is something that we can well heed today. We are in a crisis, a prolonged, open-ended crisis that we believe that has greatly disrupted folks' lives, but we also know that when we operate as a team and we pull together and support one another, we can overcome it. And so that is one of the lasting legacies of 9/11, and something that I hope gives us hope today as well. With all that, that's been the Mayor's Weekly Update.